Hello, 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 and welcome back to Recreates Creative Shed. Wonderful to have you back again. We are going to be continuing on with the last video that we have because if you don't know by now, when I start making something, I find that suddenly the ideas start developing and working and moving into different things. So in the last episode, which you should definitely watch because it was obviously a masterpiece in itself, slight hint of sarcasm there, we were talking about, it's called Put Yourself in the Photo. I think that's the technical term for them. But you might be reminiscent of seeing these kind of big painted stands that you then put your face in. So you then put your face in like this. So I started to make one here behind me in the last video, and we got as far as just cutting the hole out for my head. And then by some weird fluky, I'm just going to put the bee down there. Let's see, you stay there. Okay, you can be my beautiful assistant on this one. I noticed that because the video camera wouldn't be able to see if I'd have gone any lower down, I cut out the circle quite high up, and I don't really think I need this piece up the top here, but I don't want to cut it off just yet. But I felt like I did that really far up. So what I intended to do then, in between the last video and this one, was after I cut the hole out for my face, and I measured my face by just drawing above, below, because you don't want it to be massive and gaping. So it's not a bad fit actually. So I wanted to kind of build on something up here because I wanted to have really big hair, obviously. So what I did is I got a piece of old cardboard from an old cardboard box, and like a tatty old cardboard box as well. And I started to cut out, kept this piece, which I drew around, so I knew what the shape of this would be. And I was like, okay, so in my, other alternative world, what would I want to be wearing on my head? And I was like, well, right now, I really want an ice cream. So I was like, oh no, I'll make a big headpiece or a big cardboard picture of an ice cream that would go around my head to go on this board. And so here it is. Now, like I said, it's a big tatty old bit of cardboard. So what I did is after I cut it all out, I put a straight piece of cardboard on there, just cut that off and trimmed it off the box, off the actual box, and then just sellotaped it down. Because otherwise it was just flopping forward because it was really, really battered. But this, I have to squat down because it's very tall. This is my piece that I made that I was intending to go on here like this, which does actually look quite cool and might set the scene or might set the theme off for what the rest of the board might look like, depending on obviously who else I've got. But you could be, like this person could be, I feel like they'd be in the circus or something like that. And then I've got the 3 key flavours here, which is very important. So I've got mint choc chip, I haven't put any chocks in though, strawberry, and then classic vanilla on the top there with obviously a flake, because you can't have an ice cream without a flake. So I cut it out and that fits on there quite well. Now I'm going to stand behind it just 1 second and let's see what happens. Now, if we pop this on here. So, okay, I'm ready for my close-up now. You may take a picture. Cha-ching, cheese. So then, while I was cutting this out, I was thinking, so once we've done our put yourself in the photo, whatever it's called, put yourself in the frame, or anyway, I'll get back to you on that one once I've done a bit of research. Once I was thinking about doing this one, I was then thinking, once I was cutting this out, and I was like, actually, this is pretty cool by itself as well. So what you could do is you could make up a whole load of these, like almost like photo props, aren't they? You know how you can get like moustaches and glasses and all of that kind of thing. You could make up a whole load of these kind of head face wear stuff. You probably don't even need, I kept the chin bit on the bottom just so I had something additional to stick onto around here. So that's why I kept that on there like that. But you could do it, you could do a whole food themed headdresses if you wanted to. I do love the idea of this being like sitting in the corner of your, living quarters, and that you might have people over in the future. You might have people over and they might be able to, you might be able to get a photograph of people and pick who they would like, who they would like to be. One other thing that you could do, I'm just thinking really off the top of my head, because you know with these videos that's normally what happens is normally I kind of like on this train that's running. So what you could do really like kind of, this would be in the future when, you know, DIY shops are open and accessible and stuff like that, is you could paint this with the black chalk paint. And then you could have a few holes cut out, and then when people come around to visit, you give them a piece of chalk, and then you get them to draw who they might be or write things, or maybe they could draw their own costumes on it. Thinking about that now, running. Thinking about that now, once you've put chalk on this, if you didn't want to put chalk on, what you could do is you could have a series of different things. So you could have like the food headwear or whatever your theme might be, or maybe it's rockets or space themed or sea themed or something along those lines. You could make up a number of props, and then you could put a little bit of blue tack, or as I like to call it, elephant snot. Thank you, the Danes, for giving us that word. You could put blue tack on the back and then blue tack it to your board with the different outfits on, and you could have bow ties, you could have clown trousers, clown shoes, you could have a big giant shoe with somebody's little heads poking out, really play with like perspective and stuff like that. Oh, I'm pretty excited now. I love that idea. It's like, you know, you can get those like paper dolls that are just like the cutout of a figure, and then you place the clothes on top. You could do something like that with this if you didn't feel like you wanted to do like a whole, you know, a whole scene. So yeah, you could cut the holes out. Let's recap, because I love doing that. You could cut the holes out, paint the scene here, and it could be a desert with cactuses, or it could be in the water at the seaside, if that's somewhere you would maybe want to go, or maybe a forest or a jungle. And then you have all your bits of clothing and stuff made out of your cardboard that you blue tack on, and then people can come pop their heads through and make up their character, whoever they want to be. Like a kind of flat pack dressing up box. Anyway, that's the first I've ever heard of that idea, and you heard it here first, people. And on that note, I'm going to let you go. Let us know how you're getting on. It's been so great that you've been interacting with our digital online exhibition and Change X. It's really great that you've been doing that, and we really appreciate all the positive feedback that we've been getting, and I've missed you. So on to the next one, and we will talk to you soon. Okay, ta-ra, talk later, bye-bye.